is that it? Good. Look, I'm most probably going to go a little bit back from where you guys have been, sort of a few lectures ago. And maybe because I sat long and hard, and although Philip doesn't believe me when I tell him I sit long and hard and think sometimes, but sort of sat through this and said, where would I go if I was given like this opportunity? And I can only go back to the idea. The quality of the idea is everything. All this stuff is fantastic, but the quality of your idea is everything. Now, I'm not going to go too much in terms of myself, but I can tell you I've got a family, I've got 2 kids, they're young girls, they're going into private school, they cost me a lot of money. I've got a wife who's not a spendthrift. I think I spend more than she does. But life is tough when you go out on your own. When I went on my own, I had a family. You guys might not have those responsibilities, you might have others. But I can tell you that it's not easy. When you do this, you might be taking a pinch of salt and you have a go at this. When you, and I know a little bit about Tony as well, tough times he's had. And when you go out on your own, and as he correctly said, the cash flow starts doing this, and nothing's coming in, and you're working your butt off to get it in, and you're groveling, and you're begging guys to put money with you, and you kind of want to lose faith in yourself, etc. You've got to dig deep. And it all comes back to the quality of the idea. I say more and more to people, don't be patient about things. Be patient about what you're going to do. If you don't think you've got the right idea, if you haven't got the passion for what you're going to do, you're wasting your time. Don't do it. You're going to lose it. You're going to waste your money. You've got to have that deep passion for what you want to do. You've got to believe in what you want to do. And the idea's got to be good. You've got to think long and hard through the idea. The rest is then a breeze. The rest becomes very difficult when the idea is not good, when the concept's not good, when the product's not good, where you've got competition coming at you, etc. You're always on the, like I said to somebody the other day, you don't want to be on the back foot. You want to be on that front foot. The big guys here that have been in those scrums, when you drop into that first and you're on the back foot, you go nowhere. You want to be on the front foot the whole time. And my partner and I, there are only 2 of us. We've got a third guy joining us. I can tell you when the .com bubble burst, we lost a lot. We only had, at that stage, I had some shares left. I sold them. We had a few $100,000, and I said to him, Paul, you've got to pull off a deal now. I had a lot of pressure. And the only really worthwhile thing we pulled off at that stage was the acquisition of a bank, of a large banking group. We were fortunate. We turned it around. We were clever, and it sort of stayed with us for the rest of our lives, and it's been good for us. And from that, we've run various ventures. I think similar to Tony and them, but we try to focus on maybe 1 or 2, at the moment 3 concepts, good ideas. We don't put in anybody else's money except our own money and the guys in the group that approaches us. That's the way we like to do it. We don't like to play with third people's money. I don't like to report to somebody else and tell them how good or bad we're doing. We like to sort of know about it ourselves. Our money goes in. Hopefully we get some money from the venture that we backed. And I really wanted to sort of start off, I saw the marketing had like a brief, and the funding is brief. I don't know if it's not important, or if there isn't much to talk about, or if there isn't just a lot of avenues with the funding. But most important to you, this competition is great, and you're going to sort of bring your ideas, etc. And sadly, I would have just created one prize, one winner. This like 10 winners is like being nice to 10 people kind of approach. I would have just said one winner took 100,000 rand, let's go. Get the best guy out there. And have a competition where the guys present you and work them over. I think it eventually sort of boils maybe down to that. But what's going to be important is how you come across. Your venture, you guys can, I've got sort of a limited understanding of you. So you guys come to me with some fancy idea. I've got no clue what the hell you're doing. I go, yeah, trying to sort of be with you. But in reality, what the hell do I really know? You've got a passion, something that you've worked on. Let's take anything, sort of nanotechnology that Philip and them are involved. I know about nanotechnology. Yeah, shake my head on nano, small, whatever. But what do we really know? Now we're going to ask to fund these things. So what do we look for? We look at the individual. We look at you. The guys that are sitting, or the girls that are sitting in front of us, looking us in the eyes, and we're nice guys. My partner, he stays in Cape St. Francis. A board meeting to him is out in the surf. Okay, I sit here. We communicate every now and again. We've got a good understanding. Guys come to us. Every week we've got one or two people chatting to us, wanting us to back them. As I said, we are selective. We pick one or two people. To be frank, I only think there are one or two good ideas that float around usually. There's not a lot of very good ideas. Yeah, there's a lot of copying. There's a lot of, and I'm not saying they won't work. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong opening up another sidewalk cafe, or another bar, or another whatever you want to, another clothing shop. Nothing wrong with it. You get it right, you can earn some good money, you can make some good cash flow, you can look after your family. First prize, so you've succeeded, you've been successful. But to get somebody else to put money in with you into a big idea, it's got to be good. And I will put the majority of my effort and time into getting the good idea. Then I will work on how do I come across. Now, most of you have grown up. You guys are much older than, much younger than I am. Most of you have grown up in an era with technology and all that nonsense. Okay. I grew up in an era sort of where there wasn't much around, where you were shaped differently. We were shaped to be far more social animals, human contact. My brother and I, without getting into a long story, because JD here will show me a board now, it's in X minutes left and all those good things. 20 minutes. God's sake, I would have shown them that sort of. Okay. My brother and I used to, for our sins, we were like in a recycling game. We used to go around. I love the story. I've got fond memories of my brother. But we used to go around collecting newspapers, old newspapers, and recycling them. Now, you were a 12-year-old, I was 8, he was 12. You used to knock on the door. You used to go around the neighborhood now. And you used to knock on the door. And then that sort of housewife opens the door. And she's got, it's like morning, 11 o'clock, so all the curlers in the head. She's got the cigarette. And she opens that door. When she opens that door, you've got that 1 or 2 minutes to sell yourself to her so that she will give you her newspapers. That's what you've got. So you taught at a young age, you taught to sell properly and get the deal. And how do you come across and how do you present yourself? And I don't know how you guys shape yourselves and how you come across. But sometimes, what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to go and watch sort of Chelsea play Barcelona. Now, a lot of you won't know that Chelsea is playing Barcelona. But tomorrow, when you walk into my office and you're asking for money, and you don't know the score between Chelsea and Barcelona, you can walk out the door again. That's how life works. You laugh. Of course, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Because it's how things work. You click with a guy that comes in. He's got the same wavelength, suss him out, eye contact's good, straight through, whatever it is. Whatever it is that makes me work, is going to say, I'm going to go with this guy. And that's usually how everything works. Now, how do you shape yourselves? How do you come across well? Well, you've got to be fairly presentable, but it's not a big thing. I'm always amazed how, and it's not a sort of a feminist remark, but ladies will always get the time. They always the door opens and they go, no, we'll chat. I don't say they always get the deal, but they always get the time. They're fortunate. So I say use it to your advantage. Come in well. I brought these along, firstly because they're just fascinating, but I found, and I've lectured at a number of at UCT and Stellenbosch's business schools. And then you're lecturing to guys that are, 10, 15 years older than you are. And still, they don't read The Economist. They're still in the U magazine and Gents Quarterly and how do you flex your muscles and get a good stomach muscle, whatever. Now, I'm not saying don't read that because it's actually far better and more exciting. But at some stage in your life, you kind of got to get serious. You've got to get an understanding of what goes on in the world.